Feed Your Family Tonight podcast. Each week, we are serving up motivation and inspiration to help you get weeknight dinner on the table, letting you recapture a little calm in the crazy. And now, your host, speaker, author, and married mother of four, Mariefiebach.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Feed Your Family Tonight podcast, episode 103. Is it too soon to talk about the holidays? You know, it's late October if you're listening to this live time. And you know what happens? As soon as Halloween's over, all of the stores clear out all of their Halloween candy and costumes and decorations, and the entire section is filled with all things Christmas. Christmas decorations, Christmas candy, stocking stuffers. It all becomes filled with Christmas. It's coming sooner than you think. It's funny, in the past couple of days, I've had two friends tell me, well, you know, Marie, you're just so organized. I have a little confession. I'm really not that organized. I wish I was one of those super uber organized people, but the reality is I have to use paper to get everything in my head out so that it doesn't clutter up my mind and I start dropping balls. That's why I meal plan. I meal plan so that I put all of my decisions into a few minutes at the beginning of the week so that I don't have those ideas floating through my brain to clutter up my mind. I don't know about you, but when I have too many things swirling in my head, I have too many commitments and too many things that I'm trying to remember, that's when I start dropping balls. I don't like it when it happens, and it makes me feel really, really frustrated and really, really overwhelmed. And so last year, one of the things that I have found that has really swirled through my head is all of the things happening around the holidays. When you look at what the average family does between Thanksgiving and New Year's, there are hundreds of little micro decisions that we have to make to participate in the holidays, however we do that in our home. All of these little micro decisions, if we don't get them out of our head and on paper, serve to clutter our minds. And when our minds get cluttered, that's when we start feeling overwhelmed. I've felt it many, many times. One thing that we usually deal with in our family around the holidays is that my girls and I are in a play with our local children's theater. It's one of the funnest plays ever. It's the best Christmas pageant ever. And the Children's Theater has done it for 38 years. And 38 years ago, I was in the very first cast. In years past, my sister has been in it with us with some of her children, and my dad was in it last year. It's kind of a big family thing. And I don't know if we'll be cast in the show this year. We have to audition every year, so who knows what's going to happen. But that commitment takes a lot of time in one of the busiest seasons of the year. So last year, I set out to free my brain of some of these little micro decisions, and I created the Feed Your Family Tonight holiday planner. And it really helped because it helped me take all of these things that I know I'm going to have to face during the holidays, but putting it on paper in one place helped me stay on top of it and helped me not worry that I was missing something. Have you ever had that feeling where you know you should be doing something, and you know you're missing something, but you don't quite know what it is, and then that thing comes up and you're like, oh yeah, that's what I forgot to do. It's happened to me on so many occasions. And by using the Feed Your Family Tonight holiday planner last year, I was able to take that out of my brain because it was all on paper and I could choose what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do. But I was much more intentional, and it freed up my brain space and really helped pull me out of the overwhelm that often happens to me in the holidays. Well, the Feed Your Family Tonight holiday planner is back, and it is new and improved. I have updated it and added lots of bonuses, and I've added a couple of sections to the table of contents to make it even more user-friendly. One of my favorite things that I added this year, I added a Thanksgiving countdown where you look, if you are hosting Thanksgiving, you plan 2 to 3 weeks, 1 week, and all of that task you should be doing leading up to Thanksgiving, all the way up to the day before and the day of, to make sure that you're managing your oven space and all of the little tasks that come with hosting a large gathering. But many of us aren't going to be having our usual Thanksgiving dinners this year because maybe we're not traveling to family, or maybe our aunt who usually does a big family gathering is saying we're not having the big family gathering this year. We're trying to be careful of the pandemic. And so things are going to be changing. So I also created a Thanksgiving 101 sheet. If it's your first time ever cooking Thanksgiving dinner, you can look at that to make sure that you're not missing any of the major things, and it'll walk you through all the steps to making sure that you have a successful Thanksgiving dinner. And after Thanksgiving, I have the countdown to Christmas. And for those of you who are early birds listening to this in October, I have an October start where the early birds can get started on all of their tasks for Christmas in October. Or if you're a little bit of an early bird, I have a November start. And if you're like me and don't get started until December, I've got you covered there too. I have a December start. The whole point of creating these countdown sheets is to make sure that you are staying on top of all of the hundreds of little decisions you have to make as you plan for the holidays. By getting these things out of your head and onto paper, and you don't even have to get them out of your head because I've already got them on paper for you, then all you have to do is choose what's most important to you, focus on those things, and then let go of the rest. Because no one's perfect. No family is perfect. But if you can focus on the things that are most important to you, you are going to have the best holiday ever. By putting things on paper, I get it out of my head and I'm able to focus on what's most important. And for me this year, the most important thing is creating connection with family and friends. And I want to have that feeling of calm and peace around the holidays. I can see myself, a couple of days before Christmas when my children are out of school and we're just playing board games and enjoying each other. And I'm not trying to run around and purchase gifts or do last minute holiday decorations because I've planned ahead and done the things that are important so that I can have time to connect with my children. I feel like in this year of pandemic, connection is something that is most important. The pandemic has kind of given our family a little bit of a gift. And what that gift was is that it caused us to slow down and we let go of our old habits and routines. And we've had to create new habits and routines. And as we've created these new habits and routines, we've been able to choose things that are most important to our family, and things that aren't as important, we're letting go. And that's been really good. And that's what I want you to think about as you go into the 2020 holiday season. I want you to think about the things that are most important to you, and the other things, maybe you can let them go. No matter what, we'll always have to make choices in December about things that we're doing or not doing, because there's no way you can do everything. But maybe there's something that you've wanted to do for a long time. Maybe you've always wanted to take the carriage ride through the park, but you've never scheduled it. Or maybe you've always wanted to go to a Christmas tree lighting. Now's the time to change your traditions a little bit. And I'm not saying change all your traditions, because I really believe traditions create stability for your children and stability for your family. It's a way of grounding you. But if you have things that have really caused more overwhelm than joy, this year is your excuse to change them. It's kind of like a little gift of permission to say no. And sometimes that's really nice, is that we have the gift of permission to say no. And for sure, this holiday season gives you that. But before we say no, we have to think about what we are saying yes to. What are the most important things to us this year? I remember I was pregnant with my second child, and she was due in late November, didn't end up getting born until December. Let me tell you, being overdue in November is not fun, but she was due in late November. And I had my oldest, who was about to turn 2 in December. And there was no way I was going to be able to do Christmas shopping with a newborn and a 2-year-old. And I remember it was the week before Thanksgiving. So it was really early in the season. It was the week before Thanksgiving. And my best friend and I got into her car and we had our list of all of the gifts we wanted to buy, all of the places we wanted to go and buy them. And we spent like an entire day, like 10 in the morning until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I think we stopped and had lunch in the middle there. But we went and we bought all of our Christmas presents in one epic shopping trip. And in order for that to happen, I had to be uber organized. I had to think of all the people that I was planning on buying gifts for. I had to list all of the gifts that I was going to be buying, and I had to list where I was going to buy them from. And when I took the time to intentionally plan ahead and then just did one big giant shopping trip, it was amazing because I wasn't running around all over town and I wasn't retracing my steps. I knew exactly what I needed to get. And having a newborn was the guiding force behind me having to make it happen. But I decided that I want to do that this year too. And so part of the holiday planning guide is a whole section on gift giving where you can print out sheets for all of the categories of people that you're buying gifts for, from teachers to your mother-in-law, your children. I print out a whole page for each child because with December birthdays, I have aunts and uncles and grandpas asking me for gift ideas for my kids. And I have to be very careful how I plan it out so they don't get like 6 of the same thing. And the other thing is when they're getting all their gifts in December, I want to make sure that they have gifts that will give them enjoyment the whole year long so that it's not all just one and done fast happening in December and then there's nothing to enjoy the rest of the year. So I really carefully plan out what their gift suggestions are and who I'm going to suggest to get the different gifts. When you've got different grandparents and aunts and uncles, you kind of know what their budgets are. You kind of know what their general style is for the things that they like to give. My father-in-law especially is really good at buying clothing. He will take my child to a store and will try on things. And he's even in the past, if something doesn't fit just right, he will take it to a tailor to make sure that it fits exactly how it should fit. And so if my child needs a piece of clothing, I am going to give that suggestion to my husband's parents because they are really good at finding clothing. So you want to think about who the gift giver is going to be if you're giving out suggestions for your kids. But by having one sheet for each kid, you can keep track of what's happening and what gifts everyone is going to be giving to your children. The other thing is then you have one sheet for each category of gifts that you are giving. So I have a sheet with all of the teachers' names on it, and I have a sheet with all of the service providers that I want to give a small gift to. I have a sheet of the neighbors that I want to take baked goods to, and colleagues at work that I want to make sure get a little gift at Christmas. And I put all of that down on sheets and I put that in my Christmas binder. And then when I look at all of that, I can see, well, I've got to buy something for the mailman, and that's at the same store as the thing that I want to get my son for Christmas. And I can put it all by the retailer or the website, and I can list it all. So I'm only making one shopping trip to each store. And that is going to save you so much time. And if you are shopping online, it's going to save you money with shipping. In 2020, many of us are going to be doing much more of our shopping online rather than in person. And that is something that is going to disrupt the shipping a little bit. I am advising people to really shop early online as much as possible. I have looked at Amazon's website. I have looked at UPS. I have looked at FedEx and the U.S. Postal Service. UPS has low-cost shipping deadlines as early as December 13th. If you are shipping with UPS after December 13th, you are likely going to be paying a higher premium rate. And the closer you get to Christmas, the more premium the rate is going to be. The same thing is happening with FedEx. And Amazon is not guaranteeing 2-day shipping on all of their items. They are attempting 2-day shipping, but they are saying that they are not guaranteeing 2-day shipping with all of their items. So if you are planning on doing a lot of your shopping online, I highly encourage you to shop as early as possible in order to make sure that the items are shipped to you well before Christmas so that they can be wrapped and ready to go. Christmas shopping is just one part of getting ready for the holidays, but there are so many other things that are important to us during the holidays too. Lots of organizations always ask for donations at this time of year. And I actually set a budget and I put a list of the organizations that we plan to donate to so that I can be intentional, and rather than just reacting to the requests that come across our mailbox, I also think about the activities that our family wants to participate in as part of our holiday season. With the activities and the shopping and the decorating and all of these little things that are important at the holidays, the biggest thing that I can encourage you to do is to mark time on your calendar to do all of those things. And once it's on your calendar, it may have to change. You may have to move it around, but you are going to make much better decisions about your time if you have blocked out time for these important tasks now. If you are cooking Thanksgiving dinner, you need to block out lots of time. You need to block out time for meal planning. You need to block out time for grocery shopping. You need to block out time for cooking and cleaning and setup. All of these things that we do take time. And if we are intentional and put them on our calendar, it's going to be much easier to say yes to the things that are most important to us and let go the things that aren't quite as important. I often say December Marie is going to thank October Marie for taking these little bit of time now and marking things on my calendar, thinking about what I want the holidays to look like in our family, and focusing on the things that are most important. By setting that time on my calendar, it's going to help me say no to things that are less important because I already have time blocked on my calendar. Last year, we don't get our Christmas tree until after our birthdays are done in December. My mother, my father, and 2 of my kids all have birthdays in the same week in December. We've just made a decision as a family to focus on the birthdays, and then after the birthdays are over, we'll go get our Christmas tree. Well, the birthdays are over by the second week of December, and last year we did not get our Christmas tree until like a few days before Christmas. We like to do it as a family. It's something that we usually do in the evening. We borrow my dad's truck and we go and we pick out the tree. And it's something that is a special night for our family. And between the play that we were in and programs at school and sports and other activities, we did not find time until just a few days before Christmas. And the whole time I was getting down on myself, feeling like I had failed my family because we weren't getting this tree up. In reality, my family didn't care that much. I mean, they knew that we were crazy busy. But this year, I'm determined to not let that happen. My goal is to put it on the calendar. And if I have to move it, at least I have made that appointment. It's much easier to move an existing appointment than it is to create a new one when your calendar starts filling up with holiday commitments. If you are interested in looking at the Feed Your Family Tonight Holiday Planner, it's at feedyourfamilytonight.com/holiday. This planner will help take all of those hundreds of decisions that you are making around the holidays and will get them out of your head and on paper. And that is going to help free your brain space. It is going to calm the overwhelm and calm the anxiety. I know for me, when I'm trying to keep too much in my head, that's when it all falls apart. So I encourage you to take a look at the Feed Your Family Tonight Holiday Planner. It's at feedyourfamilytonight.com/holiday. If you ever have questions about it, you can join me in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. There are some really fun bonuses in this year's holiday planner, I've really gone and revamped it and added things that I hope you will find very, very useful so that you can have the best holiday ever and enjoy your time with your family. So for now, friends, take care. Picture yourself sitting in your decorated home in the midst of the holiday season. All of your gifts are purchased and wrapped, dinner's in the oven, and you're enjoying a moment of rest or are spending quality time with your family. No overwhelm, just calm. The Feed Your Family Tonight Holiday Planning Guide is here to help you manage the hundreds of little tasks that come with the holiday season. From shipping to roasting a turkey, we have got you covered. You'll plan your gifts, your meals, your decorating, and so much more. And new this year, we've added the Countdown to Christmas worksheets. Whether you're starting in October or starting in December, these worksheets will help you get out of the overwhelm and focus on the things that are most important to you this holiday season. For more information, visit feedyourfamilytonight.com/holiday and get your own copy of the Holiday Planning Guide.
Thanks for listening to Feed Your Family Tonight podcast with your host, Mariefiebach. If you like the show and want to know more, please visit feedyourfamilytonight.com. And if you'd like to help support the show, please leave a rating or review on iTunes or Apple Podcast. It helps spread the word that you can feed your family tonight.